In Virginia, competition has been the order of the day since the colonials settled in here, hundreds of years ago. Men atop their steeds would race through the countryside, much like these drivers will do tonight as they crawl into their ground-pounding beasts. The stage is set for Saturday night short track racing in America, and we'll do it live, now. Hello, and welcome to the Global SimRacing Channel's presentation of the Bootleg Racing League's Outlaw Modified Series from, yeah, you guessed it, Richmond Raceway here tonight, up in the press box to bring you all the action. It's me, yours truly, Sean Ambrose, and my partner, Taylor Burris, here for you this season. In the director's chair, over there, Mr. Joe Peak, twisting and tweaking the dials for us this evening. Armed with cameras, located, aimed, and zoomed, focused very carefully by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. All right, race fans, welcome aboard this evening. Let's get ready over these next few minutes as GSRC will bring you all the storylines and all the stats and facts you need to fully appreciate the simulated SK modified racing that is coming your way. Taylor Burris, my friend, welcome back to the booth. Tonight, it's all about Richmond Raceway under the lights. This is a great track. It's steeped in history. What do you know about it?
Well, of course, this is one of the best short tracks here in North America, Richmond Raceway. This 3/4 mile or 1.2 kilometer track is located in Richmond, Virginia, with 14 degrees in the banking. This D-shaped oval opened in 1946 and has been one of the main staples in NASCAR racing throughout the decades. Now, race fans are going to be experiencing a little more something special with these modifieds tonight. So to give you, the fan, the opportunity to see what it is like to tangle with this track, let's hop on board for a GSRC lap guide.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around the Richmond International Raceway in the GSRC SK Modified. Richmond is a fun little short track, very popular on the NASCAR side of things, but it's a whole lot of fun in this SK Modified. Hot lap, aiming for that yellow line, let it roll through the center of the corner, back out of the gas, out towards the wall. Really not out of the throttle a whole much. You can see down here turn 3, out of the throttle just a bit, back into the gas already, and then full throttle right in about corner exit. Not really going to have to feather it out there too much to the wall, but you can run it right down in here into turn 1 again. Hard onto the brakes, let the front of the Modified rotate, catch maybe a little bit of the apron, help it turn a little bit, back out onto the back stretch, down into turn 3, same situation. Let it roll in here, gas it up on entry, and then get on out of that corner. Down this very long front stretch for a short track, just letting it roll out here. Once again, back down into the corner, yellow line, full throttle, let it corner and get on out of that corner. Down the back stretch for the final time today, into turn 3, down towards the bottom, let it go, power it up, swing it out here to the wall for good measure, and then across the line. And that is going to complete our track guide around the Richmond International Raceway. I'm Brian Yazik. Enjoy the show.
All right, so there it is, a bad fast lap at an SK Modified around Richmond Raceway. Under the daylight sky, that will change how this car drives a little bit this evening, but you get the idea. Now let's give you an idea what the driver standings are looking like here tonight, round 8, and we head in this weekend. We find J.R. Shepherd still sitting there at the top, and boys, getting harder and harder to unseat every week. Now 21 points behind. Donnie Moore coming up the ladder just a bit, bringing Matt Shadowski along with him. Matt Shadowski's the one that's picked up those big points, so he's closing the gap on Donnie Moore. Donnie looking over at his shoulder there at third. Brian Dean is the big loser, unfortunately. He falls a couple of spots down this board into fourth, sitting just a couple of points behind Matt Shadowski. They'll both be here tonight and both battling on track. Tim Shadowski. Now watch out for Tim, because Tim's got on a bit of a roll here. Now he is quite a few points out, but you know, all you need is a win and a little bit of bad luck for maybe one of your appointments and one of your opponents, not appointments, and you get yourself some great points heading into the next round. But let's face it, folks, the season really we're on the other side now, and it's starting to wind down. So all these drivers in the top 5 right now are scrambling here. J.R. Shepherd, the one at the top, maybe not scrambling so much. He just needs to do what he does, and that's win. Taylor, why don't you go ahead and talk to everybody about tonight's event details?
Well, of course, and Sean, this is round 8 for everyone here watching of 11 races, so we're closing in towards the end of this season. Of course, all the races here for the Bootleg Outlaw Modified Racing Series is 100 laps. However, no tire changes are allowed for these cars. They are allowed to come down pit road to repair damages or add a little fuel if need be, which they usually do not. Of course, though, the setups here are fixed, used by the iRacing services. So whatever track we go to, that is the iRacing fixed setup that we will be using here tonight. Of course, if a car is more than 1 lap down or multiple laps down, if a caution comes out, they are able to get the lucky dog or wave around the pace car to get back on the lead lap or to regain one of their laps back. However, if their car is too severely damaged to where they're unable to get it repaired in a certain amount of time, they are allowed to have 1 fast repair. And of course, one of the main specialties here of the Bootleg Outlaw Racing Series is that the top 10 from the previous race gets inverted. So if you finished in 10th position, you'll start on the pole. If you won the race, you will start 10th. So I'm not going to disclose anything. We're going to see if any of our fans of the series can guess who will be our pole sitter if they remember from last week at South Boston.
Ooh, I know.
Oh, well, don't spoil anybody.
I'm not going to spoil it. You know, now Richmond is not a track that shows up every season on the Bootleg calendar. In fact, they run this one pretty sparingly, and if I remember correctly, maybe even just once a year it shows up in their 4 seasons. So this is a special treat to get to run here tonight. The big difference I think a lot of our race fans are going to notice, Tim, is obviously the lap times a little bit longer. It takes a little bit more time to get around this 3/4 mile track, What does that mean? Well, we won't be done in 20 minutes tonight. In fact, sprinkling some cautions, and this may seem like more like an official race that you'd see on the iRacing service. We'll probably approach 40 to 45 minutes out of here on track this evening. Now, there is a 60-minute time limit. I don't know if they'll get to that. I think we've got a better group than that. But speaking of the group, Taylor, we've got another full field tonight with just a minute and a half of warm-up. 19 drivers registered and ready to go tonight.
Yes, they are. They're going to have a great time here tonight. Almost can go flat out. You do have to let the car breathe just a little bit in corner entry, and then of course got to make sure you keep the car away coming off of the wall, especially coming off it too. So these drivers are really looking forward to looking at the times right now. I tell you what, Brian Dean and JR Shepard, Kenny Kibbe back up towards the top of the time chart. So I'm really looking forward to watching those three.
Okay, now I will say the Super Late model race just before this one actually did go to the time limit. They did not get all 60 of their laps in. So now that that was not a 60-minute time limit. I believe it was a 40 or 45-minute time limit. But nonetheless, they did get beat by the time on that one. Watched a bunch of those drivers deal with the track. Honestly, the Shinoskis, well, they looked good again. Donnie Moore, to be really honest, I know he's not just up at the top of the practice board right now, but Donnie led a really, really good portion of that race. And Taylor, this field's in trouble if Donnie Moore gets a good starting position, and two, has a good run here tonight, because he's going to be a tough customer to get around. And again, he really seemed to have this track figured out, seemed to be dialed in. And we'll see how well he gets his SK Modified dialed in this evening here at Richmond Raceway. The warm-up, the official warm-up session is officially over. The checkered flag is out. We'll get ready for everything to update here. And then we're going to go to our grid here tonight for the Outlaw 100 from Richmond Raceway. Here we go. Brian Dean is your pole sitter. If you guessed Dean, well, no, I'm sorry. I messed that up. It's James
You just ruined
Lowe.
the spoiler.
I did ruin the spoiler. James Lowe is your pole sitter. I knew that. I was just looking at my screen. James Lowe is your pole sitter. Lowell Jewell starting on the outside of that front row, Taylor.
Starting in the third position in the 07 will be Tim Shinoski. Alongside him will be Chris Passini in the number 15.
Chris Passini, all right. And row 3, it's going to be Matt Shinoski and Donnie Moore, the aforementioned Donnie Moore. They're starting in 6th.
In the 7th position is your points leader, JR Shepard. Alongside him will be the Alliance driver of Mark Herzog in 8th.
Okay, gonna go to row 5 now. Chris Wolfson gonna start 9th in the number 7, and then Kenny Kibbe tonight is gonna start 10th in his SK Modified there. Go ahead.
Starting in 11th will be Jason Menenda, followed by Michael DiCarlo in 12th.
All right, row 7, Robbie Robinson, and Todd Liston is with us again tonight at number 87.
Starting in the 15th position, hopefully we'll be able to make a good recovery, Brian Dean. Alongside him, Mike Holloway.
Okay, got the last 3 here. We've got row 9, it's going to be Kurt Smith, Joshua Banks, Dustin Powers in the number 25 will start 19th. The lights are out on the pace car. We get ready to go here, Taylor. This is going to be fun.
Yes, and
should get another pace lap here, I think. Isn't that right, Taylor?
I don't know. It looks like the pace car lights are out, but it looks like they are going to go another lap.
Yes, they are. Here we go. I always forget that here on these tracks and the distances, but it's under a mile, so we go another pace lap around. Lowell Jewell, James Lowe got this field ready to go as we head into turn 1. Everybody lined up here again. 19 SKs ready to do this evening.
Who's your pick there, Sean?
You know what? It's going to be hard for me not to pick JR Shepard, so you know what? I'm going to take Donnie Moore instead. And hopefully he's not cussing me at the end of the race that I picked him. So there we go. All right.
I'm going to have go with Matt Shinoski.
Okay. All right. That's going with the hot hand. I like it. I like it. And here we go. Pace car is in. We're mean green and underway. James Lowe with a big jump there on the start. He already pulls far ahead. Tim Shinoski gets just about clear of Old Jules, stuck up on the top side. Has not got that SK Modified wound up yet. Piscini's going to get under him as well. A nice breakaway for Piscini. Piscini already getting to work there on Tim Shinoski. Looking to take that second place spot there in the turn 3. Coming out of 4, this is where you got to be careful.
Yes, indeed. He looks like he's going to be able to clear him maybe before they get into turn 1. Poor Lowell Jewell cannot seem to get to the inside line, unfortunately, as he lets J.R. Shepard and Matt Shinoski by, dropping him almost outside the top 5 into 6th place.
Well, and the big mover early up front here, Piscini in that number 15 Esports Feeds. SK Modified gets a good run. He's got Tim Shinoski all over the bumper. Shinoski looking for a different way around down on the bottom. He's got his brother Matt right behind him. These two getting to work early. It'll be their job to keep J.R. Shepard in the rearview mirror. Shepard sits 5th. Lowell Jules still trying to find a way down to the bottom. He can't get it. He's side by side back there with Herzog. I'm sorry, with Donnie Moore. Actually, those two together now. Donnie's going to get by.
And now Mark Herzog will go side by side with Lowell Jewell coming off a turn 2. Kenny Kibbe looking on between these two. Going to follow suit right behind them. And behind him is Chris Wolfston, rounding out the top 10 at the moment. Chris Wolfston holding on to position, doing a good job here tonight so far early on. As we see Kibbe trying to follow suit with Herzog, as Lowell Jewell cannot seem to get to the inside.
Kibbe almost a little bit of contact there with Lowell when they got off the corner. Lowell going to get wide and away there and continue to try and just hold on here as Chris Wolfson now is down there on the bottom in his number 7. Herzog got a piece of the wall. He kissed it coming out there.
It's like a little contact between Brian Dean and Lowell Jewell when that issue of rose with Herzog in the wall. Now Dean's going to have to battle with the number 36 of Joshua Banks going into turn 3 and 4.
J.R. Shepard making a move up here up front. And we're on that action there, but J.R. getting by Matt Shinoski. Oh, and the caution's out. I think it was Lowell Jewell had a problem here. Car got around. He sits on the track by himself there, spun out. Let's look at this replay here and see what happened. I think he was still wide with Dean. Yeah, well, netcode or a little bit of contact with Brian Dean. Maybe they were fighting for that same piece of real estate going into the turn. Could have been, again, maybe both. Or one or the other, but it was maybe too close to call. I don't want to hang that on Dean, but Lowell's going to get away with no damage on that. So Lowell's in good shape. He's just going to have to do it from the back of the pack now.
We've seen Lowell work his way up from the back to the front. No problem at all. Still early on in the race, so he has a lot of time to catch up.
Well, we got a few laps in, but we did get our first caution within the first 10 here. I'm going to try and avoid too many more of those and keep him running this evening. James Lowe, still your leader. He will start this race again from the bottom, and it'll be Chris Piscini that'll get to start on the outside of that front row. J.R. Shepard and Tim Shinoski will be right behind him there. And JR already picking up several spots to get himself up here on the couple of the first 2 front rows when we get this race restarted. Light's still on the pace car, so a little bit of cleanup there left to be done.
Looking through the rest of the field, I say our biggest mover would have to be Joshua Banks. Started 18th up to 11th, gaining 7 spots. So he is working his way up through the field right now. Always been fast, no matter what track we go to.
Well, somehow Michael DiCarlo wound up with a bunch of damage after that. He's, I think maybe he checked up and somebody got into the back of him because the rear end of that SK Modified is, it's about 6 inches shorter. And, well, he has been in the pits and lost a lap as a result of that. So right now, Michael DiCarlo will be, will get the next, will get the lucky dog, provided he can stay on the front of this lap he's on. then he can get that lucky dog the next time we get a caution. If we don't get one, he's going to have to get it back the old-fashioned way, isn't he, Taylor?
Yes, indeed, he has to. But it looks like possibly, hopefully, if we don't have another caution, he will have to earn it the old-fashioned way. But if we do, he has only just one lap to regain, so not too much of an issue. Still early on in the race.
All right, here we go. The lights are out on the pace car. The number 99 has got the field. The number 15 to his right side. It'll be Tim Shinosky, J.R. Shepard right behind him. Matt Shinosky and Donnie Moore on row 3 to get this race restarted. Here we go. Pace car getting ready to roll off here. The iRacing.com Ford Mustang looks for the pit stop, or for the pit entrance. And here we go. James Lowe on the hammer again, quickly to get this race restarted. Same strategy for him. Get the jump, get away from the field, let them fight. Right now, it's Bassini, Tim Shinosky. Shinosky going to ride that low line. He's going to try and make a move here for the lead. Already down the backstretch. Lowe gets loose off of turn 2, and Tim Shinosky goes to the lead. Chris Bassini's going to get under. He's going to bring brother Matt, right behind him. And Tim Shinosky is going to lead the restart of this race.
3 wide going into turn 1. Ooh, a little contact.
James Lowe, J.R. Shepard indeed.
That was quite a little hair-raising moment because Mark Herzog was on that inside line, and I don't think JR knew he was right there until they started going into turn 1.
JR making his move. Oh no, contact there between Wolfson. Wolfson and Kibbe get into it and hit hard down in turn 1. And a whole bunch of cars get stacked up. Kurt Smith, Lowell Jewell. Oh no. Dustin Powers gets away from that. Here it is on the replay. That's Lowell in the middle, and it was Wolfson in the middle, and Wolfson becomes the ping pong ball. Oh no. Here's another angle from it on board here with Brian Dean, Taylor.
Yeah, just almost Brian Dean and nowhere to go. Pretty much was, I think, able to get through that no problem.
The C's parted here for Brian Dean, and I'll tell you what, man, I said it earlier, you need a little bit of luck in these things, and, well, for his effort right now, Brian Dean is now in 10th. So good on him, but Wolfson and Kibbe both in the pits for repair. Wow, so interesting developments there leading up to that caution, but the big thing to know right now, and that is Tim Shinosky is your leader. Chris Bassini's actually in the same spot, still in second place. Matt Shinosky now into the top 4, and, well, there's one constant there, and that's, well, J.R. Shepard. He is going to get to restart this race again in the top 4, right where he restarted last time. So still fighting to get to the front. All these drivers working hard to try and keep him in the mirror. Herzog, Donnie Moore going to round out row 3 here when we get restarted. Taylor, we never talked about the weather and what we were looking at here at the track tonight. But it's a pretty comfortable evening, really. It's only 76 degrees, or I'm sorry, 74 degrees outside, about 76 degrees on track, and boy, those are pretty favorable conditions for a good race. Always
of favorable conditions. I actually wish that was the kind of temperatures we were having currently up towards this way. In the Carolinas and Virginia, it's only probably in the 30s, actually right outside my door. So it's really cold up here, but still very good conditions for the track here tonight, especially with the overcast. Nice small breeze, no issues at all. It's just a great night for racing here.
And hopefully that means these tires will hold up just a bit here this evening, and we'll get some good grip and some good green flag racing here when it counts, and that's at the end of the race. Right now we've gotten off to Well, not a rough start, but that last incident collected a lot of cars, and well, guys right now scrambling to well, still get repair done. Kurt Smith back in the pit. That's actually the third trip in for him now. Liston, Kibbe back out. Wolfson still in there now, just finally rolling again. Chris Wolfson, that was a nasty shot for him, and the car up and over several times, but glad to see him back out. We eagerly await the wheel and light bar at the top of that Ford Mustang to go out, and it has. And here we go. Tim Shinosky, Chris Piscini, get ready to roll. They'll bring J.R. Shepard and Matt Shinosky along with him. Taylor, you got to get a run at some point as we approach the fifth of this race being gone. Maybe a good time for these guys to maybe spread out a bit and get to some racing here. The pace car leads them down that back stretch. We go into turn 3. Here we go. Look for Tim Shinosky to maybe try and get the same type of jump that James Lowe was getting. Pace car's off, and no, Shinosky waits just a little bit. Now he's gone. Back on the hammer. The green flag is out. Tim Shinosky takes it to the line here in the Outlaw 100 from Richmond. Good battle right behind them. The two up front, that's Matt Shinosky. J.R. Shepard, a little bit of contact there between the two, getting off of turn 2. That scuffed off a lot of speed for J.R. Shepard. Kind of opened things up for Mark Herzog. Going to try and make a run off the top.
Yeah, I just don't see that outside really working unless someone makes a mistake on the inside line. It's almost considering like seeing when we go to other racetracks where that outside line just doesn't seem to work. Here as we have, contact a little bit between Moore and Herzog coming off of turn 2.
That, Donnie moving up and through. Trying to get this done just up in front of them, though. Matt Shinosky trying to get up here behind his brother. He's trying to make the move up, get Piscini work. Sorry, Chris. Chris just hanging on for dear life up there. Here comes J.R. Shepard down on that bottom side. Chris got to get in here, try and make it work. No, he doesn't try to cross him over. He's going to stay up there in the top groove.
He's holding on as best he can right now, but it looks like Matt was able to get by. Now J.R. Shepard's going to take it, go all the way down below the line.
And the caution's out again. Oh, and Herzog was involved in that. Let's see where it started. I think it started with Herzog, and I think he made a little bit of contact with Joshua Banks. See, yeah, there's... Herzog's the one that spun around there, the black and yellow Alliance 1 car. That's a bit of a mess. Hit a couple cars up in the wall there. Another shot at this replay from above. There's the contact between Herzog and Banks. And then the carnage in Banks' mirror. A lot of cars trying to get that sorted out there. On board here with Jason Menda. Menda gonna go for a wild ride and gets right into the back of Herzog, and then Lowell Jewell gets collected in another one. And that's gonna be a second pit stop for Jewell after that incident. Boy.
Looking at that and it looks like Herzog and Wolfson unable to continue. They're taking their car behind the wall. They are done for the night.
Yeah, that's a shame. I never really got a chance to talk about Chris Wolfson's car and that paint scheme he was running. He was actually running the Denny Hamlin modified paint scheme on that number 7 this evening, and I was going to talk about it. And darn it, I didn't get a good chance. Unfortunately, now Chris has had to retire from the race. But a lot of drivers got caught up in that. Needed service. Jason Menda, Michael DiCarlo, Dustin Powers still sitting in there. Of course, Lowell Jewell still there as well. So right now that leaves us with 15 cars left on the lead lap. Dustin Powers at the back there in 15th. Kenny Kibbe will be the first car. A couple laps down will be entitled to a wave around at the next caution. And just when I thought maybe we'd get to a green flag run, that we picked that caution up quicker than we have any other one this evening.
Sure did. That was, I don't even think a lap into the race, maybe if not a lap and a half.
And speaking of those laps, and we haven't talked much about the lap times, but these drivers running low 22-second laps, and boy, that really is screaming around this track. The SK Modified, a bit underrated with its 600 horsepower. Is maybe to some real gearheads, 600 horsepower doesn't sound like a lot, but when you mix in the wheelbase, the very light chassis of this machine, the space-age technology that goes into building these machines, they get around here really quick, Taylor.
Yes, indeed. These modifieds are by far some of the quickest ones. Maybe not as quick as their more faster cousins of the Tour modifieds, but still, these SK modifieds can haul around a racetrack no problem at all. Actually, watching some of these racetracks, New Smyrna, for example, with these modifieds, it's just amazing of how blindingly fast they are on just a small track.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of seeing both the SK and Tour modifieds run a New Smyrna a few times, and that's always a blast. Always fun going down there during speed weeks and checking out the racing. In fact, well, that's only a couple months away, folks. Mark your calendars. Speed weeks, Daytona, all of Florida ablaze, and big time of celebration there in February. But it's time to celebrate here in Richmond, here in Virginia this evening. We head down the back stretch. The lights are out on the pace car. We're ready to rock and roll. Tim Shinowski's got the field, and guess who's right next to him? His brother Matt. So the Shinowskis have got the field as they head down into turn 3. Bassini, Shepard right behind him. Look at JR, keeps starting on that top side every time here. The pace car's off. Tim Shinowski going to hold him up just a little bit. There he goes. Just a little, not a brake check, but just maybe a little bit of lift to the throttle there, and Tim Shinowski able to break away. Bassini's going to go with him. Matt Shinowski going to be the loser on the top side. Here comes Donnie Moore with a big run down on the bottom.
Donnie Moore trying his best to squeeze on the inside, but it looks like Matt Shinowski gets a good run off of turn 2. Moore dives back to the inside, though, of Shinowski in 3 and 4. He's going to go side by side, coming off of 4 down the start-finish line. J.R. Shepard tries to, we got to pass with
yeah, well, Bassini's trying to take it away from Tim. He does. Chris Bassini gets that Eastport Feeds SK Modified up to the front, the number 15, rolling into turn 3. He's got it. Tim's going to try and fight it forward. He doesn't have it. They continue to fight just behind them. It's a three-way battle between Donnie Moore, J.R. Shepard going all the way to the bottom of the track, trying to cut it off just a bit. And that's going to work. J.R. Shepard pulls himself up into third finally.
Look at Mike Holloway in that number 5 modified, running up into the top 5. Ooh, a little bit close, touching Nerf bars between him and Shinowski. He's going to 3. Side by side, he's going to gain that position now as Joshua Banks tries to follow suit with Mike Holloway.
Yeah, they're scrambling now. Now we've got a race going here. Boy, Tim Shinowski got a great start, but that ended when Chris Bassini began his assault, and Chris has got the clean air right now in that clean SK. Clean air, clean SK, clean race so far.
Clean air is king, and when you're up towards the front of the car, it helps your car feel better as far as aerodynamics, as well as just making sure stability and making a little bit extra grip with the car. So as they go down as a 3 and 4, it is still going to be Bassini pulling out by about a couple of car lengths right now.
Yeah, and Matt Shinowski really struggling back there. He continues to drop through the field. Is now Dean working on getting by him. Dean had to check up. He almost got into the back there of the number 36. Joshua Banks. Been a tough night for Banks to begin with. And it looks like Dean's going to pull off that spot for Matt Shinowski. So Matt did really well in the early stages here of getting to the front. Now he's all of a sudden just gotten shoved out to the side, and he's had to finally settle in back there. Where does he settle in at? In 9th place for Matt Shinowski.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Matt.
Yes, that's where the bleeding's going to stop for him. He's got a good couple of car lengths ahead of Kurt Smith at the moment. So it looks like he's going to now have to work his way back up 9th position.
Bit of a breakaway here up front as J.R. Shepard sitting back here in third is opening this up over Donnie Moore just a bit. Donnie's mirror not looking too bad at the moment. He does have Mike Holloway there, but Holloway doesn't look too eager to try and make that pass quite yet. Maybe so. Going down into one, Holloway does look to the inside, and he is going to take it from Donnie Moore. Wow, I overthought that for a moment there, but Mike Holloway with a strong run here on the bottom, and he is bringing there the 36 with him. Here comes Joshua Banks.
Yes, indeed. Joshua's going to be able to clear probably Donnie Moore and look at, he's got a battle for P2 between Shepard and Shinosky.
Well, Shepard there. He got it. Shepard gets under. Shinosky takes the spot. J.R. Shepard finally up here in the second. Let's see what kind of work he can do to catch Piscini.
We got a big wreck out for 4.
Yeah, we did, and Donnie Moore got caught up in that late, but it started there with, that number 36 again. We mentioned Joshua Banks, and I think Joshua got together. We're going to see this on screen. Joshua got together there with Mike Holloway. And then Holloway slides up. You're going to see Holloway, the blue number 5. He'll slide up in track in front of, after the contact, his car will slide up in front of Donnie Moore. There's Brian Dean on the inside of number 23, and they just nowhere to go. Nowhere to go there for Donnie.
So unfortunate for Mike Holloway. He's been having not the very best runs throughout the season, and seeing him up towards the top 5 was a real nice surprise, and unfortunately gets turned off coming off a 4.
All right, well, we're close to the halfway point in this race. We've picked up another caution. Bassini is your leader. J.R. Shepard sitting in second now. He'll finally get to restart this race on the front row. Kenny Kibbe getting one of those laps back, getting in the wave around here. It has been, the carnage this evening has been heavy. Only 6 cars have not elected to go into their pit stall. Everybody else in this field has had to come in for one reason or another. Remember, the pits don't really gain you any advantage other than that's where your spare car is, or you have to sit and wait for repair. There's no tire change allowed, and you don't need fuel unless you lose fuel. Now, these cars occasionally will lose fuel on certain incidents. If they go upside down like Chris Wolfson did earlier, they can, in fact, lose fuel. And Wolfson, actually, that first stop he was in after he went on his lid was in for quite a while, and part of that was due to having to take extra fuel. But again, no tires allowed, so we'll ponder this. Is again, there are only 6 cars on this track remaining that haven't had to duck for the shelter of the pit stall yet, Taylor. So a little bit of carnage tonight here at Richmond.
Well, it is short track racing, so you expect that to be happening here tonight, no matter what type of car you bring to a short track. And especially at a track here at Richmond, you expect cars to have a little bit of issues. But unfortunately, as we're closing in on halfway mark here at the race, hopefully everyone can either space out a little bit and try to race each other as clean as possible, or just race hard, but still race clean throughout the rest of these few laps remaining.
Well, no disappointment here. I think we got just about what we expected. Again, as I mentioned earlier, Richmond, not a track that shows up on the bootleg schedule very often. Some of these drivers, especially some of the new drivers here in the field, Michael DiCarlo, Joshua Banks, Robbie Robinson, some of the new kids on the block may not be quite as familiar with wheeling the SK Modified around this track. It is a bit of a trick. It's not a gimme. It's not flat out. It's not a super speedway in this car. There's a little bit of lift, a little bit of trail braking involved, and a lot of skill. This is a driver's track. And we're getting ready to find out exactly how many of them want to drive to the finish, because the lights are out on the pace car. We're ready to go again. All up to Chris Piscini this time. J.R. Shepard going to be the one stuck on the outside. We'll see what he can do from that top side. We know what he generally does. JR, one of the few we see make those passes from the outside. Can he get it done here on the restart? That's going to be a tough ask. Here we go. All right, the pace car is off. Piscini waits a little bit. Now he's gone. Gets a decent jump there on J.R. Shepherd. Shepherd, I think, waited on purpose so he could get down to that bottom line. Look at that. Already begins his attack. Tries to get that right front there on the inside of that left rear of Piscini. Nothing going. They start to drop. Tim Shinowski stuck back there with Brian Dean. And James Lowe, our pole sitter. James Lowe back up here into the top 5.
2-car breakaway. Piscini, J.R. Shepherd still your top 2 at the moment as they have dropped Tim Shinowski as well as Brian Dean and James Lowe go side by side into turn 2. Coming off right now, it is a battle for 4th position as Matt Shinowski trying to figure out which lane to pick. They enter into turn 3 right now, and it is still
he didn't have one.
Pretty much roadblock.
Yeah, he is. He's roadblocked right now, indeed. No place for Matt Shinowski to go. There's a hole in the middle, but he can't take it. Boy, and up front, Piscini under a lot of pressure. J.R. Shepherd starting to kind of tighten up the collar a bit here. JR getting quite a run. Chrome Horn looked awful close to the back bumper of the number 15.
With those two battling, that's going to bring in the 07, that blue and white Tim Shinowski car. As they are coming out at 4 right now. He's closing in a little bit and actually was the fastest that time by. Let's take a look right quick. Still was the fastest out of those 3 cars up for the front.
And here is this battle for the lead. It does look like J.R. Shepherd is making his move. He's trying to set it up to see. He's going to battle him on the outside. They go side by side into turn 3. J.R. Shepherd going to shoot the gap, but then he's got to get out of that throttle a little bit to make that car rotate. He's going to rotate all the way down to the bottom, down to the apron. Is it going to be enough? And I think it is. Piscini, not enough momentum up there to keep it going. We'll see here off of 2. He does have some, but he loses that advantage right now. J.R. Shepherd continuing to hold that run down along the yellow line on the bottom.
Yes, indeed. Piscini, though, still able to hold on for banging pretty much by a thread almost as they go down the front straightaway, completing another lap halfway this time by. But it looks like J.R. Shepherd will finally clear Piscini and now has to do battle with Tim Shinowski.
I think Piscini is wise to take care of those tires. He knows how to do that. He's got real-world modified experience. He knows how these cars work. No hurry here. We've got to go back to the action a little bit back further in the field because Donnie Moore trying to move up through the field. He's got to get by Joshua Banks to do it. Banks is right off his right rear tire. Watching it from the popcorn position is that powder blue number 5 there of Mike Holloway, who had trouble earlier but is back in this thing now.
Yep, got a fresh new car. All of that blue car in the number 5 of Mike Holloway going to go underneath Joshua Banks in the white Matco Tools. Coming down the front back straightaway they go. Able to clear him now going into 3, so really good job from Mike Holloway. He has been really performing quite well here tonight at Richmond.
Three-way battle for the lead up front as we jump back up there. Tim Shinowski taking it back here. Taking it back from J.R. Shepherd. Shepherd thought he had it, but he didn't have it forever. Tim Shinowski back to the lead of this race. Chris Piscini drops back to 3rd. Piscini got a familiar customer waiting right behind him. It's Matt. Here comes Matt Shinowski. He's looking to the bottom. There's not an opening. He can't get there.
4 cars for the top spot right now. And here comes number 5, Brian Dean, and that number 23 Gold Modified. He's closed in on this battle for the lead. So we now have 5 cars as we almost go 3 wide down the front straightaway between Shepherd, Piscini, and Shinowski.
Oh, watch out. Chris Piscini gets real close to Matt Shinowski there. Those two almost got hooked up. Great job by Matt of not pushing that issue too hard. Still fighting up front and scrambling. Matt swinging it to the outside. Dean coming down through the bottom. He's going to challenge Piscini now off of turn 2.
Side by side off of 2. It is still Piscini holding strong on that outside line. Dean, though, trying his best as he goes to the inside, goes late into braking, comes off of 4 right now. They're still going to be side by side. Shinosky, the 00 of Matt Shinosky, has just nowhere to place his car to get by both of them as Tim Shinosky in the 07 pulls away.
Tim using that advantage of the clean air right now and keeping J.R. Shepherd in the mirror. Shepherd just being very calculated. He knows he still has a long way to go here. Taking care of the tires. He was fighting hard to get to the front. Backing off just a little bit right now. Piscini, this race not working out the way he'd like it at the moment. He's having to fight too hard here. He's having to use up his equipment. Dean! Piscini gets into the wall as Dean pinches him up there.
That's going to now bring in James Lowe to the battle right now. He's going to go to the inside of Piscini. Piscini might be a little bit damaged, but I think he's able to recover a little bit. He's going to go battle with Matt Shinosky, the 00 car.
Piscini trying to clear Lowe back there, and he does. Well, that was a hard shot into the wall there for Piscini, and he gets a heck of a run on Matt Shinosky. He's got to back out of it a lot.
Those guys battling. This is bringing in Jason Menda and then number 45, that black and orange, or I think red lettering on the car coming down. He's gaining a little bit. Right behind them, Holloway, Banks, and Moore battling it out for that 7th position.
Yeah, and that's kind of where they've been since this last restart. Kurt Smith kind of getting his nose in there. He's dropped back actually a little bit. Kurt has been the one giving up these spots to them as they get by. Donnie Moore dips all the way to the inside. He cuts the nose there off of Robbie Robinson. Kurt Smith able to get a run there off the top, but he has to slow it down because he almost got in the wall.
Got to be so careful off of turn 2. You think you can maybe go flat foot through that corner, but you cannot here at Richmond. That corner is pretty much one of the most toughest areas to make a good run off of corner exit of turn 2. Kurt Smith still going to book battle with Robbie Robinson right now, but Todd Liston's also closing in on this battle.
There's Liston. We haven't talked much about him tonight, but he's still in this thing, still on the lead lap, still got a chance in my estimation with, 38 laps to go. Anything can and probably will happen before this is over.
Dustin Powers in that blue number 25 got a good run on Liston coming off of turn 4 down the front straightaway. He will move up into the 13th position.
Boy, Menda, I'm sorry, Taylor. I'm sorry, Menda had some big trouble there. And that was off of turn 2. And Mike Holloway, Joshua Banks both took advantage of that. Now Banks looking to the inside, trying to pick up 2 spots here as he tries to clear Holloway. These two have made contact already this evening, driving really close here through 3 and 4. Banks holding a good line down there on the bottom. Holloway trying to get by him off the top side of the track.
Seems that outside line's starting to come into play a little bit. A little bit of rubber's been sent up that way because of some drivers being up on that top line or middle groove. So it's seems to be working out, not like we thought were there earlier, where it was like if you were on the outside, you're dropping to the back. Here now you have a shot to maybe make a pass.
Well, for about the last 4 laps, these two have gone side by side all the way around the track. And you're right, that rubber definitely starting to come in up in that middle upper groove there. That's what you like to see. I know J.R. Shepherd's probably appreciating that. He's riding easy right now up front there. These two fighting hard. You wonder how long Holloway's car going to be able to survive there at this pace. Still really the closest battle we have on track, at least as side-by-side battles go. Menda maybe trying to get a little bit of steam here again, looking for a chance to get a move there on Holloway. Nothing. Holloway blocked him off. Let's go back up to the front as the accordion is out right now. Tim Shinosky's playing these guys behind him. Shepherd wants around. He keeps having to check up. Brian Dean going with Shepherd, and Dean almost all the way down to the grass. That could have been really tragic for him. J.R. Shepherd tries to make a move on Tim Shinosky there from the inside. He has to give up on it. Tim hangs on to the lead here in a 3-tailer.
Yes, he does. It looked like Shepard got a little bit loose off corner exit of turn 2. Now Dean's going to go to the inside of JR Shepard. Both him and Shinosky go below the yellow line. That is not out of bounds. They can make that pass and be legal on it. Now it's going to be Dean going further below the yellow line into turn 2. Him and Shepard are going to battle it out right now, but Shepard was able to prevail on the outside line.
You know, if Dean digs much if he digs much more any lower, we're gonna have to get him some boost. That's what I was trying to say. It's all about the delivery, man, and I just screwed that up. But Donnie, JR Shepard keeps shutting the door on Brian Dean's advances right now, and this is really kind of opened things up for Matt Shinosky, and now Chris Piscini back in the picture with a chance to recover here. I know he'd sure love to try and get that number 15 SK modified back to the front, but right now he's got 4 cars in front of him. A lot of traffic there to get around.
And still a little bit of time. We're almost 3/4 of the way through this race as Piscini gets a good run off of turn 2. He gets right on the back bumper of Matt Shinosky, but has to check up just a little bit to make the corner stick. And still Dean working all over the back bumper of JR Shepard, which I'm pretty sure Tim Shinosky, on the other hand, is grinning from ear to ear. Let those two battle so you can start pulling away.
Tim has, I would expect, a grin on his face right now, and maybe just a little bit of tension on one shoulder because he knows who's in his mirror. These two have locked horns for a long time here in the Bootleg Racing League, and boy, we can't say it enough. This race is not even close to over yet here. It's been solid. You know, really, I think if I really think about it, I think we've only had 4 cautions, so it really hasn't been a caution fest, so to speak. I don't want to jinx anything here with 25 to go, but it's been a good, solid race, and the racing has been tight. We've seen several lead changes, but Tim Shinosky owns this race right now, and JR Shepard has not looked anxious yet. So we'll see here, folks, over these last 25 how this all works out. Brian Dean seems to have backed off just a little bit too. Time to save those tires a bit for that last 15 laps. Matt Shinosky holding off our former leader there in Chris Piscini. I think all 5 of these drivers right now maybe taking care of it just a little bit here, Taylor, as they get ready to approach the last 20 to 15 laps of the race and have a little bit something left here for the end. And a little bit of argy-bargy there as Dean goes to the bottom. JR decides to go with it, but that opens it up for Dean. Dean gets to the inside. They almost make contact.
Yeah, I don't think they're listening to you on that. I think they're going to start going at it right now by the looks of it. JR Shepard looks to the outside on Shinosky. He's still got to worry about Dean, though, trying to fill that hole. Coming off at 4, he gets a good run as Shinosky goes right below the yellow line. Side by side they go. I think Shinosky's trying his best to keep him behind to where he does not go to the low line, where he has to work it on the outside groove. But JR Shepard gets a good run off of turn 2. Side by side they go. This is going to be a good battle right here, Sean.
And is this where we see JR Shepard finally make a pass from the top? How long will they go at it? We saw a great side-by-side battle there a moment ago. Further back in the field, and JR throwing down the power off the exit. Look at that. He takes the spot. JR Shepard is now the leader of this race.
Surveys say yes, he will make the pass on the outside, and Dean will also try the same thing. He sees JR doing that. He thinks, I can do that too. He's going to go on the outside of Tim Shinosky. Tim's not ready to give up that second position, though.
No, he's not. Dean's going to have to earn it. Going to have to earn it just like JR did. Dean throws it in deep there into turn 2. That gets a good run. Or I'm sorry, that was into turn 3. My bad. That's enough of a run for Dean to get to second place. He's going to clear Tim Shinosky. Tim left to deal with his brother and Chris Piscini.
Piscini gets a good run off of turn 2 right now. He's going to have to, though, battle with Matt Shinosky on the outside. Gets a great run off of turn 4, and I think he'll clear Matt Shinosky. That number 15, that red, white, and Esport Modified has just been on a roll. Even after that small mistake early in the race, he has recovered brilliantly. As they go down into 3 and 4, he's set his sights on the other Shinosky of Tim.
Let's go to the 7th here. This is that battle we were seeing before. Josh Banks, Mike Holloway. And Banks had just gotten by Holloway. Holloway fighting back now. And here comes Donnie. I'm sorry, Taylor. Look, Donnie Moore taking a peek in there.
Yes, indeed. That number 26, black ASPCA modified, doing his best to work his way back up towards the front. He's needing a good run tonight to try to close in on the points gap of JR Shepard, currently P9, as JR is currently leading this. So Donnie Moore's going to need to do a little bit more work tonight as we're closing in on 15 to go.
Yeah, so much for my pick. Mired back there in the middle of the field right now. We got to shoot back up to the front, though. Piscini just picking up one from Matt Shinoski. He's going to get around Piscini back up into 4th. Starting to make his charge. Maybe he saved enough here over the last 15 laps to get that 15 back to the front. Right now, it's JR Shepard holding off Brian Dean. Brian Dean started this race 15th today. Dean now up to 2nd, looking to battle JR Shepard here in the closing laps of this race. Piscini making his run on Tim Shinoski down the back stretch. Lays the chrome horn to the back bumper. Actually gave a lot of momentum there to Tim Shinoski when he did that. He's going to have to get back to work here to catch him up again. This seems to be the end of the track where they're doing it here in 1 and 2. Getting a strong exit off of 2. Very, very important.
Ooh, Dane into the wall.
Yes, he was. That opens the door for Tim Shinoski. Tim trying to go to 2nd. Dean trying to hang on. Almost gets into the wall again.
Tim Shinoski going way below the yellow line again to try and see if he can complete the pass on Brian Dean. Through turns 2 they go, side by side as the caution is out.
And we got a caution. We did. And it was that battle between Banks and Holloway. And it finally ended in a wreck. These two are going to make contact. They're going to get together. Banks, where it really, really looked like Mike's car started to travel up the track just a little bit. And when it did, he gets caught up with Josh Banks. And Banks takes heavy damage, has to take the toe in on board here with Donnie Moore. He's been behind one of these already. This is the 2nd time we've been on board with him tonight.
This time for Donnie Moore.
Yeah, they did. This time Donnie gets away from it and avoids the trouble. A lot of cars involved in that one again. Several on the pit lane because of it. Mike Holloway, Josh Banks in there.
Well, that was a good green flag run.
Certainly was. It was the one we needed. And it's the one we wanted. But I don't think any of these drivers wanted that to come out now. And you know, we let this race go by, and fans of this series may have noticed that we forgot to drop the disco ball there at the 20th lap. The action was so intense that we just didn't call for it. So we'll do it now. It's time to drop the disco ball down out of the ceiling there. All skate, everyone. It's time to boogie, baby. Let's get this party started here this evening. As the Ford Mustang pace car brings him out of turn 4. Look for the lights to go out and a restart of 9 laps to go. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for the lights to go out on the pace car, and guess what? They don't. So looks like we're going to get restarted here. The pace lap's a little funny here, actually. That's I think that's the 2nd time tonight they caught me wrong. But it looks like right now we're going to restart with 8 to go. So it's going to be a scramble to finish. Stay with us, folks. Don't leave now. JR Shepard's going to have his hands full when we get restarted. He's going to have Tim Shinoski, Brian Dean, and Chris Piscini all ready to go. And, you know, I shouldn't give up on Matt Shinoski either, especially with a restart. He's also going to have James Lowe with him, who was our pole sitter this evening.
Yeah, James making a nice recovery even after his incident early on in the race. He's going to work his way, try inside the top 5s, but he's going to line up beside Matt Shinoski. And with that outside line working right now, this could be the opportunity that Mr. Tim Shinofsky as well as James Lowe needed to try and work their way back into a proper position for him.
All right, now I'm excited. Here we go. Everybody, I think, is just about ready. We're waiting for the pace car to come around another time here, and I think this time the lights will go out. I keep calling for it. We should have placed bets. Certainly not anything of any real value or monetary. Of course, we don't condone that. But we should have taken an over-under on the number of pace laps here for this final caution. What we hope is going to be this final caution tonight. The lights are now finally extinguished on that Ford Mustang pace car. Here we go. J.R. Shepherd got this field. I'm afraid if we get another caution, it might be, when we get restarted here, this might be the point of no return. At least they can get a couple laps in. I think if they get somewhere with about 4 to go, they might be in trouble. Here we go. It's J.R. Shepherd, Tim Shinofsky, Brian Dean, Chris Piscini, Matt Shinofsky, and Donnie Moore, your top 6. All up to J.R. Shepherd and how we get this field restarted. Here goes the pace car. One last time, it pulls off to the left. J.R. Shepherd holds up the field. He waits, and now he's gone. Finally, Brian Dean was pushing on him. He was leaning on him. Dean gets nothing out of that. Tim Shinofsky going to try and get it rolling on the top side. Nothing happening yet. J.R. Shepherd able and going away here with just now 6 laps to go when we get to the line. J.R. Shepherd has got the lead. Piscini losing spots on the top side right now. He's got to get trucking here. Matt Shinofsky at his door.
Tell you what, Donnie Moore's closing in now. He's got that opportunity. He needed that caution in order to gain up with the field right now. He's going to go underneath Chris Piscini off of turn 2. As we now starting to have Tim Shinofsky looking on the inside of J.R. Shepherd.
So much for Donnie Moore being mired back in the middle of the pack. He is up here fighting for the top 5. Battle for the lead is happening. Tim looked all the way to the bottom there. And the car rides up a little bit. J.R. Shepherd takes it wide. They're still side by side. Shepherd to the wall. Shepherd to the wall, and he's around. And the caution's out. Tim Shinofsky will come to the line. There'll be 4 laps to go. Wow.
Looking at it, it looked like JR just tapped the wall a little bit.
Knocked it down. He didn't tap it a little bit, man. He knocked it down. JR he was fighting hard, got in there too hot. Everybody gets checked up behind him. They didn't know where he was going. Oh, that's a huge development, and one that is probably going to end this race. And Tim Shinofsky is at the lead of the field right now with Matt Shinofsky in his mirror and Donnie Moore sitting in a podium spot right now. Coming to the line, the pace car is going to take this 3 laps to go. I don't think we're going to get lights. I don't think they're going to go out.
That will be it.
Wow.
And John, if you look at the results right now, and you notice who our picks are right there.
Yeah, I do. I do realize this. Yes. Wow. I'm stunned. I'm still stunned. JR is human. He made a mistake, a huge mistake right there. It cost him the race. It's given the win to Donnie Moore. Geez, Sean. It's given the win to Tim Shinofsky and a podium finish to Matt Shinofsky. These guys are unstoppable. Well, here we go. 2 laps to go.
Seems like some drivers are running out of fuel.
Well, that's what we're hearing, apparently. Lowell Jewell checking in and talking about some of these guys suffering with the fuel right now. And honestly, there are only 10 cars on track. Everybody else is in the pits. Kenny Kibbe So all 10 that are on track are on the lead lap. Kenny Kibbe right now sitting as our pole sitter for not next week. We're going to take a week off, but when we come back in a couple weeks, Kenny Kibbe right now is going to be your pole sitter.
Yes, indeed, by the looks of it. And that'll put also J.R. Shepard in second position. So make sure you take your notes, fans, when we come back in a couple weeks at Lucas Oil Raceway of who your pole sitter will be for next race.
Well, we are on the last lap. The white flag has been unfurled, the white and the yellow. And the lights are still on. They're glowing. Bright yellow, that wheel and light bar leading everybody around like a beacon in the night. But the winner of the night is going to be Tim Szynosky. And, boy, the Pennsylvania boys, they put on quite a show tonight. And further efforts, they're going to finish top of the podium. Donnie Moore, don't ask me how. An incredible amount of luck for him. I think he's going to tell you the same when we talk to him. I know he'll be here for an interview. But congratulations. Go to Tim Szynosky as the fireworks explode. A big win for the Pennsylvania driver down here in Richmond, Virginia. And Matt Szynosky going to finish second. Donnie Moore going to complete the podium. And it's what's been a wild race here tonight in Virginia as we hear the fireworks explode. We'll let all of you catch your breath, and we'll do the same. We'll be back in just a moment here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. And we're back here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. The Outlaw 100 from Richmond Raceway is in the books. And let's go over those final results now. Your winner, Tim Szynosky tonight. Yes, Tim Szynosky at the top of the podium, followed by his brother, Matt Szynosky, those two with big evenings. Donnie Moore in that ASPCA SK Modified will finish third. Chris Piscini with a fourth place run. A good night for him. Jason Menda. Boy, we didn't talk about him enough. He does finish fifth. Sixth, going to go to Robbie Robinson. Michael DiCarlo will finish 7th in the number 77. The number 25 of Dustin Power is going to finish 8th. 9th going to go to J.R. Shepard. After an unfortunate incident there that ended the race, Kenny Gibby going to hang on for a top 10 and will be your pole sitter when we come back in a couple weeks.
Finishing in the 11th position will be Brian Dean. He will come home in the 11th, followed by Todd Liston in the number 87, finished 12th. Kurt Smith finishing in the 13th position. James Lowe, our pole sitter, not a good night for him. He will come home in 14th position. Behind him will be Mike Holloway in that number 5. Had a good run, but just could not get away from certain issues on the track, along with the number 36 of Joshua Banks. Lowell Jewell will come home in the 17th position, followed by Mark Herzog, and Chris Wolfston will round out your 19-car field.
All right, and that is the field. And boy, we've got some drivers that are probably pretty excited to talk to us. One of them is the winner of this race, Tim Shanoski, the Pennsylvania driver, finds victory lane again. Tim, congratulations, buddy. That was a hell of a race.
That really was. That was intense. I've never driven this car at Richmond before, and I didn't really know it was going to be such a kind of like Talladega. We were doing a lot of drafting, having to do some blocking or defending your position, whatever you want to call it. But it was a fun race. Good, clean racing.
So, Tim, I'm finding this hard to believe. I know this Richmond doesn't come up on the bootleg calendar a lot, but this is the first time you've run this one?
Yeah, as far as I know, we've only raced here once before, at least since you guys started broadcasting our races, and I was not there for that one. So yeah, this was the first time I've driven the SK at this.
Well, hey, brother, good on you, man. It worked out. A little bit of help from your brother, Matt, this evening, maybe.
Well, definitely at the end, when we got the caution with about 15 laps to go, someone, I forget who it was, mentioned that we all had less than a gallon of fuel left. So I was sputtering as soon as I was crossing the start-finish line. I had to get a push from Matt just to make it to victory.
Well, the Pennsylvanians come down to Virginia tonight, and they whoop some butt, buddy. Congratulations. Hey, listen, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, sir, as you head into the holidays. We'll see you in a couple weeks, my friend.
All right, thanks, Sean. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and we'll see you here in a couple weeks.
All right, and that was Tim Shanoski. Taylor, you're going to get to talk to his brother, Matt. Had a pretty awesome run himself.
Yes, indeed. Matt, excellent run coming home in the 2nd position. I'm sure you probably wanted to beat your brother Tim here at Richmond, but tell us about your race here tonight.
Well, it was just trying to stay up in the top 5. That's about all I could do, and I benefited from that last crash with JR in there, and luckily we had just enough fuel to make it, and lucked out with the 2nd place.
Yes, indeed, and this will definitely help you with the points. What's going to be your focus after our nice little holiday week in 2 weeks' time as we go to Lucas Oil Speedway?
Well, we just got to do the best we can there. We'll be starting probably 9th there, so just try to stay out of trouble and do the best we can. Maybe get another top 3.
All right, we'll look forward to seeing you there. Enjoy your holiday vacation next week, and we will look forward to seeing you racing there.
Thanks, Taylor. Happy Thanksgiving.
Have a good one. And Sean, I believe you caught up with your good friend, Mr. Donnie Moore.
We always kind of wind up finding ourselves in the booth here together, Donnie. It didn't look like it was going to work out that way. What happened there at the end? Talk to me.
I had no business finishing where I did. I'll tell you, I just that last caution helped me a little, and then avoiding that last track, I ended up here, but had no business being here. Geez, still with 20 left, I was running 9th.
Yeah, you got caught up in one early. I thought that was going to be the end of the race for you. You got behind one there, and you took on some damage. I can't remember. Did you have to actually go to the backup car?
I did. I used the backup car, and from there, it just wasn't right, running ninth. But fortunate at the end. Sometimes you got to get lucky. Hats off to the Shinoskis. Good win tonight for Tim.
Yeah, boy, they have both been strong this season, Donnie. We were looking at the points there in the beginning, and boy, they have been tough this year. They take that real world experience, and they come in and after their summer on track, and come in here in the fall season and have been strong. But Donnie, you've had some pretty darn strong runs yourself. We've got to talk several times, so that of course means that you're doing well. So you've got to be pretty happy with how the season's gone to this point, don't you?
Yeah, I am. Seems like I'm having better luck since we've hooked back up with you guys. But I'll be glad to put this track behind us. No good.
See, that's where we maybe disagree a little bit. I kind of like this track, and I thought it was a really good race. And I had and Donnie, listen. Before I let you go, I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and I'm going to let you thank your sponsors, your fabulous sponsors you have on that SK Modified every week we're on.
Well, happy Thanksgiving to all you guys too, and geez, it's awful nice of you to always let me mention, the ASPCA animal shelters of trying to be a voice for the animals, and there's too many unwanted around the country, so get your pet spayed and neutered, right?
That's right, buddy, and Bob Barker showed us the way so many years ago. And those words we hold true today for sure. Donnie, congratulations on another podium finish. We'll see you in a couple weeks when we
Appreciate it, Tom.
Lucas Oil. All right, buddy. See you then. All right, Taylor. That was Donnie Moore. And as we wrap this one up, I gotta say to you as well. I wish you a great holiday here coming up here in the United States this week. We'll be taking a little break on Thursday for a little thing we call Thanksgiving. And Taylor, I want to thank you for being here every week with me, and look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks, buddy.
Always a pleasure to come out here to watch modified racing, Sean. I hope you have a good holiday, and look forward to coming back here in 2 weeks' time at Lucas Oil Raceway.
All right, folks, that's it. Lots of people to thank, and it always starts with the Bootleg Racing League for organizing the Outlaw Modified Series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. For more series information about the Bootleg Racing League, you know what? Start at their website, bootlegracingleague.com, or go on over to Facebook, where they've got a great page over there. Just type in Bootleg Racing League. Their little icon will come up, and you can join them and follow them there. We want to thank the companies, the equipment, and software that you see on your screen now that we use on every broadcast here on the Global SimRacing Channel. And that original music that you hear every time we go live is thanks to Eric Ekholm and Jude Lalonde. You look there on screen, that's how you get a hold of them. I want to thank my partner, Taylor Burris. I want to remind you that we're going to be back in a couple of weeks, Saturday, December 1st, round 9 from Lucas Oil Raceway. Yes, we're heading to Indiana, folks. Yes, just down the road from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I think we're about a mile and a half, mile and 3/4, something like that. But yeah, I do want to thank again Taylor Burris. I want to thank our director, Joe Peak. Of course, our visionary camera artist, Dougie Beard, for everything he does for us. Find out more about us, the Global SimRacing Channel, at our website, globalsimracingchannel.com. Listen, folks, I'm going to share a little secret with you. We got a big announcement coming Monday. Some of you may be in on it, but we're all over the place now. You can get us on social media, Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook, just type in Global SimRacing Channel. We're on the Gram, Instagram, GSRC_Gram. And folks, whether you knew it or not, we were actually streaming this race to Facebook and to Twitch. You can find us in both places, and you can always find us here at the Mothership on YouTube every Saturday night with the Bootleg Racing League and the Outlaw Modified Series. Again, thank you, everyone. Happy holidays to all of my friends here, or a happy Thanksgiving to all of my friends here in the United States and the rest of you around the world. We'll see you back here on Saturday night in a couple of weeks. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.